Well, thanks, everybody. I really appreciate you all coming out here today for an exciting announcement about a new and free public service coming to our city. Today, we are announcing the formal opening of Louisville Metro Government's Financial Empowerment Center. The center, in partnership with the Urban League and other partners, will offer professional, one-on-one financial counseling and coaching to low-income residents here at no cost. Let's give it up for that. That's a good announcement. It's free, good service. Counselors will help residents strategize on how to pay down debt, increase savings, establish and build credit, and access safe and affordable mainstream banking products, so something that we could all use. And let me be clear on this. There is a great need for this kind of public service all across America and in our city as well, because here's the facts. According to Prosperity Now, nearly 20% of Louisville households have zero or negative net worth, meaning they own more, or they owe more than they own. That's a bad feeling when you owe more than you own. And 40% of our residents do not have sufficient savings to cover a financial emergency, like the ones we saw impact so many families during the pandemic, and that's why it was so important to get the federal relief that we received to help people get through the pandemic. The reality is that the impacts of systemic racism throughout the history of our country has created most of these conditions that result in the outcomes today. And frequently, people will say, why are things the way that they are? Well, you've got to understand the systems and policies and practices over the years and generations and centuries that have resulted to where we're at today. And then we've got to do everything we can to reverse that so we can get into a better place. So we got to take the steps to ensure that everybody has the opportunity to reach their full human potential. And there's no question that not everybody is born in the same space to do that. So one of the roles of government is to provide that type of equitable boost to people so that they can move further ahead. So in this case, what that means is providing access to safe and affordable financial products and services to those who've been denied them for far too long, expanding on opportunities to increase income and savings and increase access to wealth-building opportunities. So this is important to the city's overall success because we know when our residents are financially secure, they're in a better position to buy homes, support city businesses, and contribute to our local economy. We're running a pilot right now with Mayors for a Guaranteed Income with 150 of our residents to see what happens when a $500 a month stipend, how that influences somebody being able to organize their affairs so they can go to school or they can get that training or they can get that job or keep their car repaired so that they can stay on task. So we're doing a bunch of different things, innovating to try to understand how people can get further ahead. So we got to get to work. And that's why we applied to the nonprofit Cities for Financial Empowerment Fund to bring a financial empowerment center to Louisville. After securing that commitment last year, the city brought together nearly 40 individuals from various community organizations who met over the course of several months to plan and design an initiative that would best fit our city's needs. The planning group emphasized that recovery means not only working toward economic security, but then also doing better to ensure we're no longer perpetuating the underinvestment, discrimination, and disparities that exist in our city and our country. And with this community collaboration, we're building on a really successful track record of other collaborative financial empowerment strategies. I want to highlight one, our city's Bank on Louisville initiative, which launched over a decade ago and has since helped over 47,000 unbanked and underbanked individuals to open up bank accounts and connect to mainstream financial services. That's a really good number, 47,000 people. That's been done with a lot of good hard work. Aaron Waddell and your team have been leading this, so we say good job to you guys. Now, during my term as mayor, I've put a great focus on efforts like this because I believe that local governments, with their diverse range of programmatic and policy opportunities, have a responsibility to create lasting infrastructure to help our residents build financial education and stability. And you've got to get into the mainstream economy and the mainstream financial services in order to do that. So we're going to keep working at this because we're in the business of public service And what we're talking about here today is a great new public service. We couldn't do it without partners, so let's hear more about that from Jonathan Mintz. He's the president and CEO of the national nonprofit Cities for Financial Empowerment Fund, which has made all this possible. Jonathan, we really appreciate you, and thank you for joining us today.
Hi, I'm Jonathan Mintz, head of the Cities for Financial Empowerment Fund, and I am thrilled to congratulate Louisville Metro government on its latest commitment to public service that addresses the financial needs of Louisville area residents, and particularly those marginalized historically, by launching your Financial Empowerment Center. Financial Empowerment Centers are a real big deal. I find myself congratulating you, Mayor Fisher, and Aaron Waddell of your team, who's been such a great partner and leader within the Metro government, in saying to your community that finances are complicated, that the answer to complicated finances is not that people need more literacy, but what they really need is one-on-one professional free help. And now, thanks to your partnership with the Louisville Urban League, which has such a long and rich history of serving populations in need, particularly those of color in the area, now free one-on-one professional financial counseling is a public service, and that's huge. You join a movement of over 30 financial empowerment centers operating across the country that we've had the pleasure of supporting and partnering with. Together, these counselors have worked with over 133,000 clients, building up $192 million in debt reduction and $38 million, according to our most recent numbers, in savings. Those are huge amounts of money when you think about it, person after person, just a few thousand at a time. And I think that the point really of this kind of one-on-one service is making a tangible difference in people's lives. And now that's going to be happening. Too many people are outside of the financial mainstream. Too many people have been marginalized, sometimes for generations. And today, Louisville takes a massive step on top of so many other efforts like your Bank On work during COVID, your Financial Navigator work, and so many other efforts by the government to recognize these needs and to do something tangible and sustainable about it. This is a new public service in Louisville. That's really exciting. So there are a few people I also want to thank on Aaron's team also. C. Garrison, I know has done a lot of great work. I also am thrilled about the partnership that you all have with the Louisville Urban League, and I want to call out Nicole Leachman, who I know is going to be heading up the program delivery on the FEC side. I'm also told that Dr. Gabriel Jones has done some really important research setting the stage for the need here, and that's, of course, very important. These services aren't haphazard, they are targeted, and so I really appreciate and admire that kind of effort. So, congratulations. This is a big deal, and it's just the latest feather, Mayor Fisher, in the cap of your administration of really respecting and addressing Louisville financial empowerment. Thank you.
Let's give it up for Jonathan here. Jonathan and the Cities for Financial Empowerment Fund have been great partners, obviously. So oftentimes in Metro government, these services are available to us, but you got to have a team that steps up and says, we're going to do something about this. So again, Aaron, you and your team have always been right there to say this can help us. And so we've been able to string together a variety of services over these last 11 years or so that have really had material impact on our citizens. And so on this opportunity here, I really want to encourage folks to take advantage of it as well. If you feel like your financial affairs are not where they need to be, or they're kind of in a mess, guess what? You're like everybody else. So now there's a service where you can make an appointment and start the process of getting all that organized. And it typically takes a while to do that, but it's the kind of thing that once you do it, it's like, you're like, boy, I'm glad I spent the time to do that. So this is really a great step here for the city. As we were going about here, I want to say thank you to Greenville, South Carolina, and leaders across multiple sectors. Greenville was our mentor city. We've been able to sharpen our skills during a soft launch of this program over the past month, so thank you to Greenville. And then as Jonathan also noted, much of this work in Louisville has been ongoing, overseen by the outstanding Erin Waddell, who leads our Office of Financial Empowerment in our Department for Resiliency and Community Services. I'm thanking her a lot here today, but we've been in metro government, well, you've been here as long as I am, probably longer, but just to kind of see this unyielding passion for helping people with financial literacy, financial empowerment, getting banked. I mean, you just made a really big difference over the years, and I know you're going to continue to do that, so thank you very much. She's got a great team. I also want to say thank you to C. Garrison. You'll be hearing from C here in a minute. She's been really important to bringing the FEC project to fruition. So let's now bring up the Director of Resilience and Community Services. So these ladies work in her department, and our Director is Director Tamika Laird. Tamika.
Well, thank you, Mayor. I can't say enough about my team, Erin Waddell, C. Garrison, for all the hard work they have done over the years and then this past year, especially during the pandemic. Today is a wonderful milestone as we think about it. The Office of Resilience and Community Services and the wonderful community as a whole. RCS has been working and preparing for this public opening of Financial Empowerment Center for over a year. Planning, convening, developing, fine-tuning, and anticipating. Launching the FSC has been such an important goal for us because we've seen the tremendous impact the public service has made in other cities. Thanks to the National FEC Network, more than 128,000 clients and more financially sound by reducing their debt by more than $192 million and increasing their savings by $38 million. This tells you what this program can do. I especially want to give kudos to Erin Waddell and C. Garrison again to pour their hearts into this sole initiative. The work of the FAC network aligns closely with another national network that RCS is a part of, the network of 1,000 community action agencies nationwide. As a community action agency for Louisville, RCS is dedicated to fighting poverty and advocating for the low to moderate income residents in our community. By adding in the FEC to our city services, we are better equipped and to support our residents' financial health. Closing the racial wealth gap, addressing financial vulnerabilities, fostering resilience, and recovering from the economic impacts of COVID-19 requires safe and easy access to affordable financial products and services, as this is precisely what the FEC is bringing to our community. Our agency continues to shift from transitional services to those that are transformational for our families. We are grateful to the public, private, not-for-profit collaboration that support the FEC. And we appreciate our strong partners at the Louisville Urban League. Thank you. And we're delighted to launch the effort with their partnership. There is still a great deal of work to do, and the challenges still remain. RCS team is committed to expanding our ability to offer services, housing, and other opportunities to Louisville's most vulnerable residents. The new Louisville FEC is a critical component of our fighting poverty in this city. Thank you.
So thank you, Director Laird, for all your ongoing leadership. She's got a lot going on in her department. It's important to note that to ensure we're serving targeted populations across our city, we've got so many different organizations trying to work toward a common goal, but if we don't organize them and if we don't come together in partnerships, that it really sub-optimizes our efforts. So we've got nearly 20 community organizations working on this project. C. Garrison has really stepped up again and has worked hard to convene and coordinate these partners, so she's going to tell us a little bit about these experiences. C?
I promise we did not write our names in those speeches as many times as you heard them. Just want to say that. So again, thank you, Mayor Fisher, Director Laird. My name is C. Garrison, and I will be serving as the City Program Manager for the Louisville Financial Empowerment Center. I mean, I've waited for this day, what seems like 100 years now. So excited. Just again, thank you all so much for being here and supporting the FEC. We know that the pandemic has been hard on everyone. In the early days of the pandemic, RCS, we spread our resources as far and wide as possible with rent assistance, getting help out the door to residents who, on top of the major elevated health risk, faced major elevated economic risk. We began looking forward. Even while my whole team was processing applications, they were hearing devastating stories of loss and increased stress every day from residents. I approached my leadership, Aaron and Tamika, about applying to bring no-cost financial counseling to Louisville in the fall of 2020. Surprisingly, they said yes, as if we didn't have enough things going on. But they fully supported jumping in on this and have been there from the very beginning, bringing this service as a long-term strategy to support economic recovery long after this emergency assistance ends. And big dreams happen in this city because leadership is willing to embrace them. So thank you to them. So we engaged in the planning process for over a year, bringing in an advisory committee of folks across multi-sectors in the city. We also were one of the few cities to bring in not only local partners, but national and state partners into this as well. And so this advisory group met trying at every step to sort of address some different factors, intersections of race, socioeconomics, gender, and the way that it relates to individuals' financial access. And we tried really hard to be as intentional as possible to create a public service that feels accessible and comfortable, that also does not duplicate services that already exist in the city. And so as a part of that, we engaged Gabe Jones, a researcher from the University of Louisville. Dr. Jones is a fabulous partner with us with a range of financial efforts. And so the planning team, after Dr. Jones started his research, really looking at how financial equity, financial access contributes to social determinants of health, we selected the Louisville Urban League to provide financial counseling services because of their intentionality and accessibility, and their commitment to justice. It checked all the boxes that we identified as needs during the planning process. As Mayor Fisher mentioned, we then met with Greenville, South Carolina in June and soft launched with our partners, which brings us today, where we're ready and open to take appointments for all Louisville residents who are interested in a financial health assessment or have specific financial situations for which they need advice. Louisville has long been a national leader in the financial empowerment and economic mobility space. It's my honor to celebrate this city as an example for how to do the work and do it right. This is largely in part due to our friends and allies and partner organizations across the city who have generated so much positive energy around the Louisville Financial Empowerment Center, and without whom this effort would not be possible. Anytime I can applaud our partners, it's a good day. Thank you, Louisville Metro government leadership, Louisville Urban League, for demonstrating that we're here for Louisville residents to provide high quality, no cost financial counseling as a public service available to all residents. Just like public parks, libraries, and voting, financial counseling is now a city service that anyone and everyone can access confidently as a trusted resource. Thank you.
Okay, so I just want to say, so this is what a great public servant looks like here, to hear that her passion and her proactivity led to this opportunity. She could have easily just said, I'm busy. Next. That's not the way she rolls. It's like, this is a great opportunity, works in a great department that is a yes department. Whenever there's challenges, it's like, okay, yes, we'll figure that out. And then to put all the hard work in to come to today, and to hear you say that's like the best day of your life, that's really awesome. Let's hear it for C. Garrison. Once again, you're a star. No, so FEC is a city-led and city-funded effort, but then the question is, how are we going to get this done? Okay, so we got to have a strong community partner to do this. So we could not be more pleased to have the Louisville Urban League serving as the center's financial counseling provider. The Urban League has shown time and time again that they get results. So they're a long-time leader in a lot of areas, but we're talking about economic mobility here today. Economic mobility is a focus, housing is a focus, social justice is a focus. So we're honored to have Sadiqua Reynolds, their president and CEO of the Urban League, with us today. Just a side note before she gives her remarks, was reported last week, Sadiqua is transitioning from her role as the CEO of the Urban League to take on new challenges on the national stage later this fall. And Sadiqua has been long a good force here in our city. We got to know each other some 12 or 13 years ago when we campaigned together. And when you're in the trenches of campaigning, you get to know each other and appreciate each other. And that's why I call her the judge, because Sadiqua, a lot of people know she got a lot of titles because she's done a lot of good things, but she was judge. And that judge honorarium, I think, is very important. So I know there's going to be opportunities over the coming months to celebrate the impact that Sadiqua has made on our city. But I do want to take this moment to share my congratulations and my thanks to you for all of your good work over the years, and can't wait to see the next chapter. So now let's hear from Sadiqua Reynolds as the center is opening up and hear what she's going to share with us. Judge?
Thank you, Mayor. Well, hello, everyone. I'm really excited. I'm excited that the Louisville Urban League was chosen to partner because this is what we have been doing for more than 50 years in this community. And so it makes sense that we would be a partner. And one of the things that I'm really proud of with our team is that we are going to have other locations. So one of the locations will be the league, but also we're going to use AMPT, we'll use the Housing Authority, there are the YMCA, I'm not sure that we've chosen the location yet, and then also family health centers. And that's one of the things that I'm most proud of at the league, is that we are really good at making sure that our partners are with us, because there are so many of us that are needed to really do this work successfully. So I want to say thank you so much to the entire team, including Mayor Fisher, for choosing the Urban League, for allowing us to be a part of this, and actually for being smart enough not to attempt to recreate or make something up, but instead really to help us to scale the work that we have been doing. And this grant actually allows us to get some folks certified in our community so that they're even better counselors on this FEC side. So we're really excited about this high quality, no cost financial counseling. I think that's the part that we want to make sure that the community hears, and we want to make sure that the community takes advantage of. We know that there are folks out there now that aren't able to go to a traditional bank. We want those folks. We know there are folks who have credit reports and things that they need to clear up. We don't want you to be embarrassed. We want you to come to us. We want you to come and get this one-on-one counseling. And as I talked to the team about, what it was that we would be providing, we said there will be some people who need this only for 2 weeks, maybe a month. Somebody else might need a year. We are going to base our counseling on whatever the individual needs. And so I'm really excited about that. And I'm also, I have to tell you all, and Mayor Fisher, you might not even realize this, actually, I was with Jonathan in New York the day before you announced the Office for Safe and Healthy Neighborhoods being created. So it's funny how the world just, keeps on going. And I think that was 14, how many years ago? We won't do the math. It's been a long time. It's been a long time. So this is really, and we were actually there for a Bank On conference. So it's really exciting today to be able to announce this. And I'd like to just announce the team. You heard already, Nicole Leachman is actually the chief for the Center for Housing and Financial Empowerment. Nicole, if you wave your hand, she is going to be running the program. Yeah, clap for her, please. We have Lisa Thompson also. She is our chief strategy officer in the Louisville Urban League, and she is over housing and workforce development. Lisa's on the end. And then we have 3 FEC counselors, DeAndre Dooley, who is our counselor and team lead, if you could wait. Right back then back. And then Shavonda and Yoruba are with us today. And so we are really excited about access for banking services, reducing debt for those in our community, building savings for the future, and also building a strong credit report. And I'll tell you this, we're even finding that as we work with folks to increase the number of business owners that we have in our community, one of the key challenges there is the credit report, because that, business credit, personal credit, it's all wrapped up together. So it's really important that we do this work. I think it is outstanding that our city is positioned to be innovative and creative. I love all of the remarks that C made. I have to tell you, I think it is beautiful for someone to come forward to say, look, can we do this in our city? And then to have a leader like Tamika that says yes, and Aaron that says yes. And I also want to just take a moment to say, and the mayor said it first, Tamika has got so much going on in that department. Every day that we were working and fighting to help people stay in their apartments or to stay in their homes, this woman was on the phone with us day and night, along with other team members, constantly working. So I know sometimes people think about city government and don't always recognize how hard people work, but I really want to take a moment as an outside partner who has really had to work very, very closely with city agencies throughout this pandemic, just to say hats off to these phenomenal people who have really done phenomenal work, and also to thank the mayor for his leadership during the pandemic. So, if there is someone out there who needs this support, if you want to get in touch with us, for financial counseling, please do, by all means. I think you can go to the louisvilleky.gov website. You can certainly go to the Louisville Urban League's website, lul.org. You can call us. That's going to take a little bit longer, but we know that there are some people that don't have technology. So if you need to call, 585-4622 is perfectly fine. For now, you can stop in at the Louisville Urban League site at 1535 West Broadway. In the future, we'll announce the address of the other locations, and you'll be able to go there as well. So this is an exciting thing for our community. We need people to make sure they're taking advantage of this. I cannot stress that enough. It doesn't matter how good the program is if we can't get you enrolled and involved. And one of the beauties of coming to the league is that we can connect this work to all of the other work that we do, because everybody knows we really are about empowering this community. So you might come in just to get your credit repaired, and you do that, and then we help you find a better place to live, and maybe you'll rent for a while, and then maybe one day we help you get the down payment assistance because you got through housing counseling and you brought it back here and you got the certificate from the Urban League and you came, and then the city gave you the down payment assistance, and then the next thing you know, you're in a house, and then you say, oh, I'd like to make even more money, so we help you find a better job. Or maybe your kids need to go to after school program, and you can come and we'll pay for intensive tutoring. The point for us is the work is not siloed. We want people in this community to have every resource that we have available. We will do whatever it takes to change the lives and the outcomes for those individuals in our community. And so I'm excited today to publicly announce this partnership that has really been years in the making. Thank you all so much.
Okay, thanks, Judge. And let me just want to add on to what she said. When you think about the continuum of services that we've been able to develop, with the Urban League, with the city, over the years, it is transformational, because I want to add one other one to that, and that is the Evolve 502 Promise Scholarship. So if you can see that here's the city services available, let's say I need to fix my credit, I want some job upskilling so I can get to a family supporting wage. There's a down payment homeowner's assistant grant available to somebody that says, I've been paying my rent, but I don't have the money for down payment mortgage. That's available to you. And you say, I really want my kids to go to college too, but I'm not sure I can afford that. Well, the Evolve 502 Promise Scholarships are out there now. So your cost to start college is $0. So you're talking about, in a relatively short period of time, being able to change the trajectory of your family's future through building wealth and then some type of post-secondary credential or a degree. So a lot of people have been working real hard at that. Everybody up here on this stage and many other partners here over the last decade or so to put this system in place that's transformational for our residents. So I just ask the media, keep pumping that out there, because I continue to run into folks that they may not know about the Evolve 502 scholarship program or what the league does. But I also run into people every day now that are saying, hey, have you heard about the down payment homeowner assistance program? They're asking me that. Have you heard about the Evolve 502 Promise Scholarship program? They're asking me that. That's when I know it's sticking, right? When the public is becoming our own salespeople for these programs that are transformative. So we're just excited to be in a position to be able to provide these type of opportunities for our citizens, because everybody deserves these type of opportunities. So with that, thank you all for coming out here today. Nicole tells me we are taking appointments today, right? So these services are effective and available immediately.
So we're all here, so it might be an hour.
So with that, any questions from the media about this topic?